Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is our live demonstration of the NCBA online trading platform. My name is Samuel Gishohi, and I'm going to be taking you through this session. Thank you for joining us. We are very happy to have you. And for those of you who are already on the online platform, I believe this is a really good time for us to also help you to be able to learn how to navigate the system and how to place orders, as well as how to be able to look for the different functionalities of the system. The NCBA online share trading platform is owned and is provided by NCBA Investment Bank. Now, NCBA Investment Bank is the investment banking arm of the NCBA group. And at the NCBA Investment Bank, we have three arms, which include advisory. In advisory, if you're looking, say, to list or to get to restructure your books, or you're looking to raise funds from the public, this is where you go for advisory, and they do that kind of deal. We have our wealth management arm, and our management arm, we have wealth management, which includes unit trusts. We have a money market fund, we have an equity fund, and a US dollar fund. And these are funds that you can join as a member and be able to put your funds where they will earn you money. We also have in the wealth management wealth management arm, we also have a private wealth, which means if you're looking for someone to manage your investments and your wealth, under one roof, then that is where you go. And then we have the brokerage arm. The brokerage arm, which is where I head the business development team. We do stock brokerage. We are a member of the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and we facilitate trading in securities, including shares, bonds, and we also do over-the-counter market. And so anytime you need to trade on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, this is where we are. And our online trading platform and also mobile trading platform give you direct access to the market so that you have real-time access to all the functionalities of the market. You are able to access your valuations, your transaction statements, and also you are able to actually do payment requests online, including live trading. So that is what we're going to be looking at. As you can see down at the bottom of my screen there, is where you can access our online trading platform, and we will be sharing that with you later. Now, let me start by taking you through the requirements that you need to be able to do online trading. Now, to do online trading, you need to have an active CDSC account with NCBA Investment Bank. Now, an active CDSC account, note the word active. It means that one, you need to open the CDSC account. If you already have one, if an account at CDSC does not trade for more than 2 years, it becomes dormant. And therefore, if you already have an account that you have not been operating for a while, you need first to activate it so that you are able to trade on that account. And to do that activation, there are certain forms you will need to fill in order for your account to be activated, so that we make sure we have the correct KYC, which is the documentation that gives us your full identity, and so that we understand who we're dealing with. You also need to have an email indemnity in place. Now, an email indemnity is an indemnity that allows us to accept email-based instructions from a client. Now, when you're doing online trading, or when you're joining the online trading platform, we need an email to which, for example, whenever you need a reset of a password, or even your initial password will be sent, and that email needs to be indemnified so that we can be able to use that email through our third-party provider of the platform to reset and to send you any notifications, and also to accept any requests regarding the operation of your online platform. Then, of course, you need to have signed what we call the online trading agreement, and also provided your payment bank details. Now, in order to trade online, there are certain terms and conditions that we have, and therefore we will send you, when you give us an interest in joining our online trading platform, we will ask you to sign that form so that you can see the terms and conditions on how you should take care of your passwords, you should take care of your security on the system, so that we ensure that everything is done above board. And we also require you to provide us with payment bank details. Now, this is a new addition to the platform for those of you who are already on the platform. And as you well know, if you want to request payments in the past, you would have needed to send an email to that indemnified email so that we could be able to process the payment. However, we have added this functionality to our online platform so that it is much easier for you to be able to request payment from that platform. And for that, we need you to give us payment bank details, and there is a form that we provide for that. And so anybody who wants to join will need to fulfill these 3 conditions. The process of registration. First, you need to open a CDSC account at an NCBA branch. To open an account with us, you can go to any NCBA branch. Of course, for corporates, there's more requirements, including your different licenses and all that stuff. But for retail clients, all you need is to visit any NCBA branch and have your ID copy, a PIN copy, and a photo, and that will be enough to open. We also open joint accounts, so if you're 2 friends or if you're a chama, we can do that. You can also download the forms for the investment for opening that account. Our website is there, investment-bank@ncbagroup.com. Then you also need to sign the NCBA Investment Bank Online Trading Form, which I've already that is all talked about, and that is also available on the website. And then you need to go to the online or mobile account homepage and select to sign up. Then you're going to be requested to give us your CDSC account number, your ID number, and that email for which we have already created in Indemnity. And then it will ask you to enter your preferred username. And once you accept the terms and conditions, we are going to send you the credentials. And those credentials which will come to you will have a password and a username, the username which you selected. Now, once you enter those, it is going to take you to a different screen where it will require you to change the password so that you will be using a password of your own. Now, once that has happened, you are already ready to start trading on the online platform. Now, I've put on some FAQs that we are going to be dealing with as we go along. I'm just going to quickly go through them so that those ones that I can answer here, and then I'm going to explain further as I take you through the system. The reason we put this is because we have been running this online platform for about 2 years now, and over those 2 years, we have had a lot of queries and a lot of issues that come, and those that are common are the ones I'm going to deal with so that we have them out of the way as we go into looking at the platform. The first one is that we get a lot of investors saying that their account has been suspended. The reason for account being suspended is when you enter your password 3 times and it does not get, it is not the correct password. We have a forgot password function that is right there on the login screen, but that is only usable when you have forgotten password and not when you have already put in the password 3 times and it does not work. So once you've done that and your account is suspended, just send us an email, and once you send us an email, we are able to unsuspend the account. Before I go on, for those of you who may have questions, please type them in and we're going to handle them as we go along. The next one is where the system says that your account is not associated with the firm when you place an order. Note that the online platform is run by NCBA Investment Bank, but we are connected to CDSC because that is where your shares sit, and we're also connected to Nairobi Securities Exchange. So if you log into the account, that system you're logging into sits with us. However, when you try to place an order, it means that that account will try to access the CDSC system, which is where your shares sit. Now, if your account is dormant at CDSC, then it is going to say that you're not associated with the firm, and therefore you will need to contact us and fill the required form for you to be able to be unsuspended or activated at CDSC, and you can be able to trade. The platform is not displaying market depth. I will explain that when I'm on the platform. However, the solution to that is pressing the F5 key so that you refresh the screen, but I will show you how that works. How can I monitor a select number of shares? I will deal with that as I show you how you can create your own watch list on the platform as I demonstrate it. The forgot password is asking for my client code. Where can I get it? When you're logged into the system, and I'm going to show you this on the live system, there is a client code that is displayed there. It is always a good thing to note it, and I will mention it as I show you the live platform. And so is also how do I retrieve my account statement. We're going to deal with that. I made a payment request on the platform, but I have not received the funds. Now that, of course, is tied to having given us the account details that I mentioned earlier. So if you're already trading online but did not fill the bank details, because this is a new function, you do need to fill those bank details. We have a form for that, so you can send us an email and request for that, and we are going to send it to you, and then you will be able to request payment on the platform. I placed a sell or buy order, but my shares do not appear on the board at the price I indicated. That will also be dealt with as we look at the platform. But just to explain in a short, briefly, what happens is that when you place a sell or buy order, it has to be within 10% of where the market closed yesterday. Now, if the market closes above the 10% where you placed your order yesterday, then it opens today. It means your order will not be displaying on the board because it is not within the 10%. However, it doesn't mean that that order is not active. I funded my account using the M-Pesa pay bill, but my funds do not reflect. Now, there are a lot of the reasons. The time that this happens is one, you may have used the wrong account number. The correct account number is your CDSC account number. Of course, M-Pesa systems will sometimes not work as they should, and if that happens and it is not reflecting and you have done the right thing, just send us that SMS on an email and we will sort you out. We are going to be able to upload the funds. The other question we usually get is, how do you transfer your funds? To load your funds or to load funds onto your account, you use the M-Pesa pay bill 488522 and indicate your CDSC account number on the account section, and that will upload the account automatically. I have also put the funds transfer details there, which is you can send to NCBA Bank, City Center branch, and the account name is NCBA Investment Bank. You have the account number there, 1,132,604, and our SWIFT code, which is CBAFKENX. Then once you have deposited or transferred the funds there, send that confirmation to that email there, brokeragebd@ncbagroup.com. Now that's the overview of how the platform works. I'm now going to take you to the platform so that you can be able to see how the platform works. And so this is the home page for the online platform, and once you get onto the home page, as you can see, it says that the online trading platform has 24-hour access to your trading account, real-time market prices and order placement, and real-time access to various reports like valuation, transaction statements, and stock holding reports. Now, if you're registering on the account, this is where you click and you register. And when you go there, you need to give us the CDSC account number. So you will need to have that CDSC account number, the ID number that you registered with, just so that you see what that looks like. You need to give us the ID number that you registered with, and also the email address. Now note, if you use the passport, then you need to click on that down tab and use the passport number. And of course, if you use a corporate, or if you're a corporate or a company, then you need to click that, and then you'll submit, and then it will take you to the screen where it once it verifies that information, where it will ask you for your preferred username. Now I'm going to log into an account that we have created for this purpose. And once I am logged in, we are going to be able to now see that we are on the market. Just one moment as the system logs in. Now you'll note that also the forgot password is here, and when you click on that, you will need to know you'll need to have your client code, which we are going to see once we log in, and that client code is what you use when you are putting in when you're trying to request a forgot password. Our system is a bit slow, just hang on as it logs in. Okay, just a moment. I will try to reload that again. Right. So now what you can see on your screen is the online trading platform. And to begin with this, you're going to see that you have your username there. It says Kimari Gishoi, which is really my name. And then if there's any news on the exchange or on the system, we are going to have it under that tab. I'm going to explain the other tabs in a bit, but that is where you log out if you want to log out. Then on the left of your screen, we have a tab that says Market Watch. Now, Market Watch, and there's a place where you can refresh the Market Watch if you feel that maybe you're not seeing the exact prices. Now, on the Market Watch, it will show you what we call the market status. The market status at the moment is that the market is in pre-open mode. Now, pre-open means that between 9 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., the market goes into what we call pre-open. And in that pre-open period is when there are certain programs and certain algorithms are run so that the market can come up with the price for opening today, depending on the available demand and supply, either on orders that were not traded yesterday, plus those orders that you may have placed on a system like this off market. And when the market is closed, and that means when the market is closed, this system also allows you to place an order. And when the market comes to pre-open, it will be loaded on the system. And once the market is open, your order will be placed on the market. Now, on this end, on the left, that panel, you can see that you have the Market Watch, and the Market Watch shows you first the security. Every security has a name or has a pseudonym. And so, for example, ABSS, when you scroll over it, is going to show you that this is Atlas Development and Support Services Limited. You can see that BAMB is Bamburi Cement Limited. Then you have Kabasid Investments Limited. So you can scroll down and you can choose any of the companies that you would like to view. Now, it also shows you a small arrow there, which can either be red, or it can be an equal sign, or it can be an orange or rather yellow equal sign, or it can be a green upward facing arrow. Now that is an indication of the direction that the market or that particular stock has gone in the last trading day. Then the last price which is currently indicating 000 is what is now going to be used actually the volume weighted average price for yesterday is going to be used to create the new price for today. But sorry, the volume weighted average price is going to be used to determine the price for opening today. However, the last price, when the market is trading and is active, it's going to show you the last price at which it traded. Now you will notice a small graph like 3 bars over there, right next to the arrow and between the arrow and the last price. Now that is a graphing device, and the reason this will not work right now is because the market has not opened. But this graph will usually show you what has happened with that share during the trading day. So it will show you the price movement up and down during that particular trading day, and once the market is closed, it will not be populated. So as we wait for the market to open, that will not show us anything for now. Then it shows us the demand quantity. The demand quantity is how many shares are on demand at that point in time. And as you can see for Absa, we have 8,900 shares on demand. And then we have the demand price. The demand price is the price at which the investors who are looking to buy want to buy. Currently, you notice the demand and supply price look like they're the same, but that's because we haven't got into market open where it will populate based on what demand and supply is available. And then the supply quantity, we can see is 8,700 shares, and then it shows you the last quantity which was traded. So for example, if 100 shares trade, it will show here, and it will keep adding so that at the end of the day, it will have showed us how many shares traded. And then we're going to have the high and the low, which shows us what was the high and what was the low for that day. Now, on the other side, at the bottom of that screen, you're going to see a statement, and you can actually go onto that screen and be able to request a statement. Now, to get a statement, you need to give the dates from and to when you want to see that statement. So you can actually go back, say a certain period, and then you come to the current date or yesterday, and when you click on the go, it should bring you a statement showing you or indicating the shares that you bought, when you bought them, what price you bought them at. It's loading. Just a moment. It's a bit slow, so let's just continue with the rest. Then there's the order status, which we shall see how it works. When you create an order, this is where you go to look. Has your order traded? Has your order not traded? Is it pending confirmation? When an order says pending confirmation, it means the order is on the board, but it has not yet traded. Sometimes you trade or you place orders off market, and this is where the off market orders would come or would be indicated. The current position on the orders. Contract. A contract shows you, of course, you choose the period of time, but a contract will show you what has happened when you trade and all the charges that you may have been charged in order to trade and then of course during the day what trades you have done and your order history, which again is time bound, and you can create from a certain date to a certain date to see what orders you have done. So that is the statements that you can be able to see. As it's a bit slow, so I'm just going to move on, but we are going to check them once the market opens again. Now at the top of your screen, there's a little orange guy there, you can see. And on that, if you click on that, it gives you what we call the market or your watch list. You can create a personalized watch list to follow those shares that you prefer, because you don't want to be looking at the whole market all the time. So when you're on this screen, on the main screen, what you see is all the shares that trade on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. But if you feel that you just want to look at a select few companies, probably the ones you're interested in trading in or usually trading, you can create your own watch list by going onto the watch list, and then if you click on the far left, you're going to see that there's a plus and an X sign. So if I click on the little X, it will remove that share from that screen. However, if I click on the plus, it will give me a screen where I can go and add different shares. So for example, if I want to add back the housing finance, if I click on H, it will bring me the list of shares, and I can be able to select from that top drop down list and decide which share I want to add. I add the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and once I add it, it should now appear there on the system. So it's exactly the same thing, the same process, and what it does is it enables you to create your own watch list, which you can use whenever you want to be looking at just a particular select number of shares. There's a place for a help video there, and then there's where you can log out of the system. Just below that, there's some very important tabs. The first tab there is to check how much funds is available, and I will explain this quickly. On the available funds tab, you can look at first, you remember I told you about the client code. This 35083 is the client code associated with this account, and it also appears on the order placement tab. Then it shows you how much money is sitting in the account, in which case there is 1,349 shillings here. Then it shows you pending payment requests. If you have given a payment request and said you want to be paid, say 300 of this money, then it will show you here that there is a pending payment request of 300 shillings. It will deduct that 300 from this 1,300, and so that the free cash balance and trading space will only show your money without that pending trading payment request. A pending buy order, again, if you place a buy or a sell order, what will happen is that money will be locked because you cannot use it. And so therefore, that money will be also deducted from the main figure, and so your free cash balance or your trading space is going to just simply indicate what is what you can actually use to trade. Then there's this other encumbrances. Other encumbrances, you will always see 100 shillings that is held in your account, and that 100 shillings is a standard amount that is usually held in your account, because on any month when you trade, we have a standard 100 shilling fee for that trading. However, that is not a fee that is charged for every trade, but for within a month in which you trade, and not a standard fee for every trade, but just 100 shillings for any month in which you trade. So that is usually held here under other encumbrances, and we have had people wondering what that 100 is. So if you put 20,000, then it means that you're going to have 19,900 available for trading because of that figure. Now, as you come now to the next tab here, this tab is what we call your portfolio valuation. Your portfolio valuation is to show you what the value of that portfolio, in which case we are just demonstrating using this account. You can see that this portfolio value, and when it says free, it means that there is none of those shares that I am holding have been used to, say, take a loan, which means they will be frozen. And that portfolio valuation is 470, and I can actually click here to be able to see what particular security this portfolio valuation is for, and it will show you a list of all the shares that you are holding. In this case, there is CIC Insurance Group, quantity of 200 shares, average price. The price that these shares were bought at was 4 shillings and 81. The current market price is 2 shillings and 35, and the profit and loss on those shares is 491 shillings, and then there's a percentage of 51%. Which clearly means these shares were bought pre-COVID-19 times and have lost some value. So you can also go there to the top. You can see a small PDF. If you feel that you want to pull out your valuation in PDF form, we give you that option as well. Next to that is our payment requests tab, and the payment request tab now gives you an available balance of how much money you can request for payment, and you can actually come here and give a withdrawal amount. Maybe I come and say I want to withdraw 300 shillings, and I can indicate how I want it to be paid to me. And if I have any remarks, say I want it to be paid by a mobile, I can mention it there. And then I can click on the withdraw, and it will give me a verification screen there where I can decide whether I want to cancel. And then if I click on withdraw, my request will be submitted. And once my request is submitted, I believe if I come here, we are going to see that that 100 shillings has now been deducted from the amount of money that I need to trade with. So you can see now, instead of 1,349 shillings, which I could have traded with before, now there's a pending payment request of 100 shillings, and now there's a free cash balance of 1,249, which means it has deducted, or it has reduced my shares by that 100 shillings. We have another tab there, which comes in the form of a cart. Now, if I place an order, for example, if I come here and I place an order to buy a share, and assuming in order to place the order to buy the share, I'll take you through that process now. I come here and I look for the share, the particular share that I'm interested in. Market should open anytime now, so that we should be able to do it live and see all the prices. I'm going to look for, say, Safaricom. There. And the moment I click on Safaricom, you will see that some sort of magic happened at the bottom of your screen. Now, this is a very, very important screen, and I'm going to take you through it quickly. This is called the market depth. Once you click on the share, it brings you the market depth for that share at that particular time. Now, first thing you will see there is Safaricom Limited, and that is the company we are looking at. Then it will show you right down below the whole blue and pink screen. You're going to see that it tells you what the market opened at. Of course, now you can see that the status of the market has changed to open, which means now you can actually trade on the market. So the status has now changed to open from pre-open, meaning that the market is live. You're going to see that now these prices, if there's any trade that has happened, we can see that Cables has traded at 1 shilling and 90 cents, and 100 shares have traded, and the high of that trade is 1 shilling and 90 cents, and the low is 1 shilling and 90 cents. So down here, it shows you what price that share opens at, what share it closed at yesterday, And then it shows you what is the high for today and what is the low for today and how much volume and turnover has happened. Clearly, because the market has just opened, then we haven't yet seen that happening. But even as we were speaking, we just saw a trade happen, and it is already showing us that there was a bit of a change in that counter's price during that period. Now, going to the market depth, which is a very, very important screen. So I want you to listen very closely to how this works. On a market, people come and place orders depending on different circumstances. For example, I bought this share at maybe 25 shillings, and I am looking to sell it at 32 shillings or 31 shillings, which means that when I come to the market to sell my share, I have already predetermined what price I would be willing to sell that share at. That share price may not necessarily be the price at which that share is trading on the market. And therefore, if say I want to buy Safaricom at 30 shillings and 45 cents, I will come and place my order at 30 shillings and 45 cents. Now note, any order you place during a day has to be within a 10% above and 10% below the opening price of that day. In this case, today's 10% down is 27 shillings and 90 cents, as you can see there on the price tab, and the higher end is 34 shillings. So if I wanted to sell my share at 34 shillings, I can actually place it on the board at 34 shillings right now. That means that my order is going to sit on the board and wait until the price of 34 is reached. Now, there's a very important concept to understand here. One, if you look on the demand side, you will realize that the price goes upwards. So the lowest down there is 30 shillings and 45 cents. Then there's 302,000 shares at 30 shillings and 50. There's 700 shares at 30 shillings and 60 cents. There's 71,900 shares at 30 shillings and 65 cents. Then there's 300 shares at 30 shillings and 70 cents. That is demand. In finance speak, we usually call them bids. Then we have the supply price in what we call asks. And this is the price at which investors are willing to sell at. 31 shillings at there's 145,000. Now notice the opposite happens on this side, that the lowest price is at the top. And then it goes increasing as you go down. Then the demand at that price is also there. And any trade that happens at this price will only happen if the two prices at the top match. And the difference between these two prices is what we call the spread. Now, the spread is important because if there's a big spread, then it could be meaning that the market or the price or the demand and supply for that particular share is about to turn in either direction, either to go up or to go down. And to be able to figure out what sort of direction it might take, then you look at the level of how much demand is there on the market. So as you can see here, we have more demand, almost 3-4 times the demand at 145,300 supply at 31 shillings than the demand, which is only 24,500 shillings at 30.70. So the chances are at this point in time, and that can change at any time, that there will be more downward pressure because we can see that there is more supply, and we can see that support will probably come in at 30 shillings and 50 cents. The other thing to understand about market depth is that when you get in at a certain price, for example, if you come and place your shares to buy at 30 shillings and 70 cents, you are put on the queue, and therefore, until these 24,500 shares have traded, your shares cannot trade because you got in at the end of the queue at that price. The only way to now go past that on top of that queue is either to put a higher price. For example, you come and put 30 shillings and 75 cents, in which case, because your price is higher, you will go above that queue. Now, that means that when you go in at a price, you might, and I get a lot of questions like this, a client will say, I placed my order at 30 shillings and 70 cents, the share has traded at 30 shillings and 70 cents, but my share did not trade. The reason that happens is because you are not reached on the queue. Now, that means at that level, it is first in, first out. The first person who placed the order at that price will be the first to trade at that price. Now, let us go and see how to place a live order. Since we noticed that there were some CIC shares on my account, we are going to see if I can be able to place an order to either buy or sell CIC. Now, if you come here, you can see the place new order. It is allowing me to place a new order. It is requesting me to declare whether I'm buying or I'm selling. So in this case, let us say I want to buy some CIC shares. Then below that, there's a little tab that says market, and it says ET normal. And if you click on that, it says ET odd. Now, these are the different boards that are available on the market. On the ET normal board, you can see there that it tells you that the lot size has to be 100, meaning that if you're trading on the ET normal or on the normal board at the market, it means that all orders are done in lots of 100. So 100, 200, 300 in multiples of 100. If, for example, you have 120 shares, because sometimes you have 2,000 shares and NCBA gave you a bonus share of 1 for every 10, which means now you have 2,200 shares. So that means that you have, okay, assuming you have 200 shares, now you have 220 shares. So now you have 20 shares which you want to trade, but you cannot trade them on this board, so you have to go to the ET odd board. And that odd board allows you to place lot sizes below 100. So 99, 98, 97. So the odd doesn't mean odd numbers, it just means less than 100. So let's go back to the ET normal, and let's say I want to buy 100 shares of CIC, and I have now a price range of 2 shillings and 12 cents to 2 shillings and 58 cents. Now let me try and see if I can place an order which we can see appear on the board, and I'm going to place it at 226. So I come here and I put 2 shillings and 26 cents. Then the system allows you to give it a period in which your order will be live. The reason this happens is because sometimes you know that the books, for example, the books closure for this company is tomorrow. So if they don't trade between today and tomorrow, you're not interested. So you can come and select that date. It gives you up to 30 days. And then you click on the buy. It will bring you another screen for order verification. And this gives you first the order value, which is 226 shillings, which is 100 divided by 2 shillings and 26. Then it will give you the fee that you will be charged by the broker. And then there are other transaction charges, which we call statutory charges, and those are also a percentage of the trade, and that will give you a net consideration of 2.30.06, meaning that my average buying price will be 230.06 divided by 100, which means I'm actually going to buy the unit at 2.3 rather than 2.26 because it has factored in the transaction charges. So I'll submit my buy order now. And if you watch this screen here closely, you will notice that now my order of 100 shares has appeared on the board live, meaning that now everybody on the market can see my order of 100 shares at 2 shillings and 26 cents. Up here on the top, you will notice a small one has appeared there, which means there is a message there. And I will read the message for you. It says that on 18th June at 9:41, an order was accepted, a buy order for that client code 35083 for 100 CSC shares at 2 shillings and 26 shares under NSE normal, and they accepted with order number XYZ. And so you can see that it has given you now a confirmation that your order is on the board. If you go down here and look at the order status, you're also going to see that that order is also showing on the board, and it's telling you that you have a buy order. And if you look at the order status says pending confirmation, meaning that that order has not yet traded. It is sitting on the board waiting to be traded. And it also shows you the last time you modified and who modified it. Now, coming back to our order board, we already have an order. Our order is sitting on the board at 1 shilling, at 2 shillings and 26 cents, and we ordered 100 shares. However, that has not traded because the market price at the moment has not reached 226. I may now feel that I don't want to wait anymore. I want to buy like these shares without waiting. For that, I come here and say I want to modify my order. And here I can decide whether I want to modify my order or to cancel it. And now I select modify, and I decide that since there's somebody already selling the share at 2 shillings and 35 cents, then I am willing to change my order to 2 shillings and 35 cents. And when I do that, I come here and I modify my buy. It gives me again the verification screen. I modify my order. And now you can see that two things have happened. One, you will notice that this figure has declined by 100 shares. This has shown me that my order was modified and accepted at 2 shillings and 35 cents under NSE normal. And then this under trading, you're going to see on top of that T, a small one appeared, meaning that it has told me that my share has traded, and the share was traded at trade confirmation for the client number 35083 for 100 shares at 2 shillings and 35 cents under NSE normal. And that means that now I own those shares. So if I come now to my amount of money in my account, you're going to notice that something has changed here. That because I have traded, now I have less money. Remember, it was there was more money here, more than 2,000 shillings. But now you can see that now I have less money. If you come here to the portfolio valuation, you'll probably see that now I have the portfolio value free of 470 shillings, which is the shares that I owned before. And now I have an unsettled purchase value of 235 shillings, which means that there is money that has been held. And this unsettled value will settle after T plus 3. After 3 days is when this money or those shares, I can actually sell them again. I cannot buy and sell in 1 day. I can buy them today, and then in 2 days, I will be able to sell those shares. 3 days, T plus 3. So now I can now come and see that my security details are now there, and it's showing me that my average price has changed. Before, if you remember when we were looking at this, my average price was 4 point something. It was about 4 shillings. But because I have bought more shares at a lower price, I have averaged it down. So you'll notice that my loss has declined and my average price has declined. And that is an example of how you keep buying at a lower price to average down. If I keep doing that, you'll find my price can come back maybe closer to the 2 or to the 3 shilling mark, so that when the share price goes up, my share will also go up with it. So that is a live demonstration of a buy order. Of course, if you go and place a buy order that does not you don't have enough, for example, enough money, or you don't have the shares. For example, if I come here and I want to trade in Safaricom. Now notice I'm clicking on Safaricom, and it's not giving me the data. And as I said earlier, that how you deal with this is you press the F5 key, and pressing the F5 key refreshes the screen. And once it refreshes the screen, then you will see that when I click on that, it will now be able to give me the market depth. So assuming I go and say I want to buy Safaricom shares there, and I say I want to buy, say, 1,000 shares, 1,000 shares, or 10,000 shares at a price of 28, and I give it a date of expiry for today. It gives you up to 1 month. Then I click on buy. So I need 282,604 shillings to buy, and I submit the order. Now when I submit the order, it's going to give me an error. It's going to tell me that the order was rejected for the client, 10,000 Safaricom shares at 28 shillings, rejected by the risk system because there's a collateral shortfall. But notice there's a collateral shortfall of 281,594. So it has gone and taken the amount I needed, deducted the amount I already have, and told me how much money I will need to load. So for those of you who have seen it, you can see that you can actually use that to figure out how much money you need to send me to buy the 10,000 Safaricom shares. I think that is there's an order history here, which I can quickly click on so that it shows me what orders have been done, and you can see it gives you a list of all the orders, whether you cancelled, it was rejected. All those orders will come, and it will show you over a period of time what orders you have placed, whether they were rejected, whether they were accepted, etc. You can also come here and try to see a contract. Now, when you click on a contract, it will tell you what was traded, the price, how much the gross consideration was, how much the broker charged you, what other charges and levies you encountered, and the amount that was settled. So it gives you a breakdown of all fees, and that is in our way of being as transparent as possible on whatever trades you're doing. You will come and see that now our order status is showing fully traded. So it is no longer pending confirmation. And that is how the online trading platform works. And that means that you can be able to now be your own broker. And at any point, and as you are working on the market, you are able to see the market live. Exactly what I see from my end is exactly what you see from your end, and you're able to see all the different dynamics that are happening on the market at any time. So thank you for joining us and for listening in. I'm going to look at some of the questions that you have sent us before we close this session. The first question is, how do you open CDSC online? Unfortunately, you cannot open a CDSC account online because CDSC account involves two entities. It involves the broker and it also involves the CDSC system. And we are currently working with both CDSC and the regulators to make sure that that can be done. But currently, as we sit, we still need to initially start with the forms. Of course, if you hold an NCBA investment and NCBA bank account, we do have some leeway, in which case we can accept the forms as long as your account is fully KYC and is fully active. We can be able to look at how we can accept scan forms. But for new accounts, we do need the forms, the physical forms, to be submitted at any of the NCBA group branches. Now, any NCBA group branch will accept your forms, and therefore it means that we are near you on the ground rather than having to bring them to our offices in Nairobi. What if I had an account with NIC Securities? We simply merged, and so CBA Capital and NIC Securities became NCBA Investment Bank. And therefore, any account that you held with any of those two entities is now live and active with NCBA Investment Bank. However, if you have not traded in over 2 years, you do need to activate that account. Can you trade, G. Esther, thank you for your question. Can you trade if currently you are not in Kenya? Yes. This account allows you, this online account allows you to trade from anywhere in the world. We also have a mobile, it's called NCBA AT Mobile. It's NCBA AT Mobile. Go to your Play Store or your App Store and download it on your phone or your iPad or your tablet, and you can be able to trade from anywhere. You're in the bus going to work, you can be able to see the market live and trade. We have another question here. What are the key indicators to look out for when deciding to buy or sell? Now, this system is designed to help you trade and to see the market prices. However, as a full brokerage product, which we offer to all our clients, you are assigned a personal financial advisor, and that is the person who will be sitting there and advising you on what to buy or sell. Now, if you request a statement from us, you will see that on your statement, it does indicate the person who is your wealth manager or your advisor. However, you can also use the brokerage BD at ncbagroup.com to send any queries that you have regarding trading and anything that you need. We also distribute research notes and research reports on daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and also we do we will call and discuss, and we will have a discussion with you based on your risk profile so that we can be able to advise you on what to buy or sell. Of course, on the market, you can do what we call technical analysis by looking at the market depth and all that and the graphing so that you can be able to see whether there is a lot of demand or supply at that particular time, which is on a speculative level. From Susan, when my portfolio valuation for a stock is being calculated, does the system take in place other charges incurred during the trade? Remember when I showed you the calculation for the trade, we traded at 2 shillings and 30 and I think 36 cents. But when it calculated and added the transaction costs, my cost was 3 shillings and 40 cents, which means that the system is designed in a way that it factors in so that when you're trading, you know where is your break-even point, and it avoids the mistake where we see a gain of 10% and yet 2.1% was taken as it was actually picked up as the initial the trade. So we look at that so that we make sure that you know where is your break-even point, and when you're making an investment decision, it is an important thing to do. I'm going to take only 1 or 2 more questions before we close this session, and we are going to continue taking the questions even after we close. We have noted them. What time does the market open and close? This question is coming from Nyadimo. Thank you for your question, Nyadimo. The market opens at 9:30 to the public. Before that, as you saw during my presentation, at between 9 and 9:30, we are in pre-open. Then at 9:30, the market opens, and then the market closes at 3 p.m. So the market trades from 9:30 to 3 p.m. How does the off-market orders work? This is a question from Latoya. Thank you for your question, Latoya, and thank you for joining us. Off-market orders are exactly the same as live market orders, except that at that point you don't see the order on the board because the board is not active and the market is not live. And so off-market orders work in that when you place that order is placed in a ledger somewhere, and when the market opens, when we are uploading the orders on the Nairobi Securities Exchange platform, your order will be uploaded. So after the moment the market is open and we upload those orders, your order will not be an off-market order anymore. It will be a live order. Of course, when you're making off-market orders, it is always good to be very keen on what the closing price was and all other dynamics, because those other dynamics like the market depth will not be showing when the market is closed. Thank you so much, Latoya. That will be my last question. And we're going to continue, of course, to address these questions and hope that we have now showed you a good example of how it works. Just before I go, one very important question: what is the minimum amount you can deposit in your CDS account to start trading? We usually require you to deposit enough for your initial investment amount. Usually around 5,000 shillings is a good amount to work with, so that you at least can be able to buy a meaningful chunk of shares in whichever counter you're buying. However, as long as you have decided on what shares to buy and the amount that 100, which is the minimum amount we trade of those shares, you can buy, then that is the amount that is the minimum that you can deposit. Thank you so much for taking your time and for joining us this morning. A lot of you are very busy people and you have a lot of responsibilities, and you have taken time to honor us with this time and to listen to me, and that there's no honor that is greater than that. I thank you very much. NCBA Investment Bank team thanks you, and we will continue to endeavor and to ensure that we are the one-stop shop for your wealth management and your investment requirements. Thank you and goodbye. Have a good day. God bless you.